Pad leader.
Go ahead.
Verify all tapes have been removed.
All tapes have been removed from the adapter.
The first American Project Mercury astronaut to go into space was Alan Shepard. On May 5, 1961, a Redstone rocket launched his spacecraft on a suborbital flight to an altitude of 115 miles. The flight ended 302 miles downrange in the Atlantic Ocean southeast of Cape Canaveral.
Commander Shepard, could you explain to us how you felt during that 5 minutes of weightlessness?
Well, all of a sudden, during the period of the middle of the weightlessness, I realized that somebody was going to ask me that question. Seriously, as we have said before, during the short periods of weightlessness that we've experienced during our training period, it's quite a pleasant sensation.
Astronaut John Glenn orbited the Earth 3 times on February 20th, 1962.
Godspeed, John Glenn. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Roger, the clock is operating. We're underway. Vibration area coming up here now. That little contrail went by the window or something there. We're smoothing out some now, getting out of the vibration area. Roger, you feel max Q, flight path is Roger, feels
The
good.
acceleration forces on Glenn continued to rise to double, triple, then 4 times normal gravity.
Very dark outside. Cabin pressure is holding at 6-1, okay. Roger, cabin pressure holding at 6-1. Roger, I've had some oscillations, but they seem to be damping out okay now. Coming up on 2 minutes. Geez, they're building to 6.
Now it was time for the booster engines to cut off and for the escape tower to eject.
Pitch 25, stand by for... Roger, Pico. Back to 1 1/4. There the tower went right then. Have the tower in sight way out. Could see the tower go. Edison Tower is green.
The Atlas sustainer engine continues to fire, and the G-forces on Glenn build. At Seco, the sustainer engine stops firing.
Roger, Bermuda, stand by. This is Friendship 7, indicating 6 Gs.
The G-forces rose to 7.7.
Go, and I am Seco. Lots of grades fired. Okay. I just asked. Roger, 0G, and I feel fine. Capsule is turning around. Oh, that view is tremendous. Roger, turnaround has started. Roger, capsule turning around, and I could see the booster during turnaround just a couple of 100 yards behind me. It was beautiful.
Glenn was weightless for 4.5 hours as he orbited the Earth 3 times. Near the end of the 3rd orbit off the California coast, Glenn fired the 3 small retro rockets to slow the Mercury spacecraft to enable Earth's gravity to pull it back into the atmosphere.
0450. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire. Roger. Retros are firing. Yeah, baby. Are they ever? It feels like I'm going back toward Hawaii.
During re-entry into the atmosphere, the gravity force acting on Glenn built rapidly to 7.7 Gs.
Roger.
Friction developed a temperature of about 3,000 degrees. At this time, Glenn's radio communications with the Earth were interrupted for 4.5 minutes.
Go ahead, Cape. You're going out. This is Friendship 7, a real fireball outside. Friendship 7. Stroke is out. Main chute is on green. Chute is out in reach condition at 10,800 feet and beautiful chute. Chute looks good. On O2 emergency and the chute looks very good.
Astronaut Walter Schirra made a 9-hour orbital flight in the fall of 1962. He went 6 times around the Earth to a landing in the Pacific Ocean.
Chico.
Hi, it's Chico, Cat's up on an off stand, and it's very pleasant.
All 3 start panel lights are correct. Ready, light, on.
I carried a black and white back on this camera with 5 different filters, all in a row, all shooting simultaneously. In other words, there were just 5 strips in a plane. These filters will help us determine which filters to use for weather observation satellites.
20,000. Standing by for main shoot. All switches are in proper position. Annual fuel is almost all gone. I feel marvelous. This is a beautiful flight, wasn't it? I'm about ready to impact now. I'm just about on the horse. Very happy to be back in the Pacific Fleet.
In manned spaceflight, the United States will continue to press forward in a step-by-step program to develop broad space capabilities. Larger steps will follow those that have been taken thus far.